Okay, wow, would you look at that? I am like 45 minutes late. There are reasons for that, but first, I want to get into the stream. So, hey everyone, JSTCool here, and welcome to a programming stream, the last stream of the school year for me. So, you know how that means that it's much worse that I'm, of course, late today. In fact, very late. Anyhow, hello. Hello, I am up here in the corner of the IDE. So, first of all, what are we doing today? So, vague programmer stream. Basically, when I was making the video that I uploaded today, I needed to extract a song from Minecraft, I think it's Creator. But of course, the way Minecraft distributes large asset files like music and other audio, it's kind of dumb. They don't actually store it inside the game jar file. They download it separately into an assets folder where it's only known by its file hash. So extracting that stuff can be a bit of a pain. They do provide index files, but searching those can also be a pain. So what I want to do today is I want to make a program that kind of does that for you. It gives an interface, you can search for a file, and then it'll extract that file for you. And I'm writing it in C++ because I want to make this a terminal application for some reason. Alright, so let me show you what I got so far. As I was prepping this before I did the thing that took me 7 million years. So right now, actually, I'll just quickly run this. Yeah, as you can see, currently what it's doing is it's just printing out the index file and then the number of different items in that index file. Could go through this, but it's basically the file name that you'd get in your resource pack, followed by the file hash and the actual number of bytes that file contains. Let's see. So that's kind of what I have this code outputting. Let's go through this real quick. Okay, first of all, in terms of libraries and stuff, I have, besides my main image extractor, I have a JSON library here because things are stored in JSON files. Got to extract those. And then also this other library called Rogueutil, which is, well, let's open it up. It describes itself pretty well right here. In brief, it's a cross-platform C++ utility for creating text-based user interfaces. Kind of what I plan to do today. More description. Rogueutil provides some useful functionality for creating TUIs, or I guess text user interfaces, and console-based games such as color printing, clearing the console. It can use both C or C++ header files. It supports both languages and supports features for both those languages. And it aims being cross-platform between Windows and Unix-based device or Unix-based systems. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyhow, so then I'll go through all the code that I got here quickly, various imports or whatever. Get rid of that stupid description there. Various namespaces and stuff because I'm lazy. Also, these are for other reasons here. String contains, because for some reason C++ doesn't have a contains method in their string class. They have a find method which can return whatever this value is if it's not, if it doesn't find this. That's so dumb. Anyhow, this is a simple utility method thing for pretty easily getting environment variables as C++ strings. Of course, environment variables so that we can get where the Minecraft folder is. This is only going to support the default Minecraft installation, so if you have like a mod loader or other installation that's located in a different location other than where the default Minecraft launcher puts it, it will not work. Of course, that is then used in this get Minecraft folder function here, which has the specific Windows and not Windows thing. I don't entirely know if this works for macOS. I don't know if they do something different with their Minecraft folder, but it works for Linux. And of course, this works for Windows. So yeah, pretty simple interface. Oh, goddamn. My YouTube stream monitor on my phone, which is just me playing back the stream in the YouTube app. YouTube is kind of screwy right now with live streams. My live streams in particular. I don't know why. But next we got this function to get all the files that exist within a particular directory. This is for when we're looking for index files. This is a function I stole from this Stack Overflow article. Basically, it takes, and for some reason it's templated. I don't know how, like, this is one of the things I don't like about C++, just how fluid some of these types can be. It's like, yeah, just a template of something. What does that mean? How does this work? Is this an it works, but like, you know, basically it takes whatever the fuck this is and turns it into a time t typed variable, which is useful because right here in find resolution file, which basically takes in a bunch of files and a file a bunch of file paths and a file extension, goes through all of them, finds the one that's the most recently modified with this extension. Annoyingly, this is the function you use to get that time, but it returns a file system file time type object. No idea what that even is, because hovering over here, it's just defined with a using. More confusing stuff. And this is in standard C++. This isn't even one of these libraries I'm using. Anyhow, so yeah, we convert that and do some looping stuff. All right, and then the actual main stuff. So we get the Minecraft assets folder, which is, you know, the Minecraft folder / assets. We get a list of all the index files, which is assets indexes. Verify that we actually had those. Man, I'm thirsty. So, yep, we use that function. Make sure it actually returns something. Then we can finally get to... Okay, I left myself a comment for something I need. But then we can get to some more fun stuff. So we can load... So then we load in the indices file using this JSON stuff. We create a file input stream. Load in the file. Close the input stream as we're done with it. Then we extract... Now, the way this file is laid out is kind of dumb. Yes, it's a JSON object. A single JSON object. But that single JSON object contains one single field named objects, which contains a lot more JSON objects, which is what we extract from this. Stupidly laid out, but whatever. And then we're extracting the names, so basically these file paths from the thing, or from the JSON object, and then that's where we stopped so far. First thing I need to actually do here is, before we even get to loading the JSON files, because this is going to be like a graphical terminal application, I need to actually check the terminal size to make sure it's, you know, relatively big enough. Just realized I'm going to have to open a command prompt here, so that's going to be fun. Because these Eclipse, because I'm using Eclipse for C right now, it's free. And also I've used the Java version, so it's a familiar interface. Anyhow, this terminal does not function with this library. At least this library cannot determine its size. Also, terminal movement, it's not a real terminal, it's just like a text output, so. And some other stuff don't work. So we're gonna have to test this in a real command prompt. So we're gonna have int terminal width id equals t calls and terminal height equals t rows, if you will. All right, that should do that. Then if the width is less than, say, 80, well, minimum 80 columns, and height is less than 40 rows, then we're gonna serve saying terminal window too small. At least EDX 40. All right. At least is 2 words. All right. And now if I run this, oh wait, it'll still go further because it didn't return. RET return exit failure. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's still went. Oh, you see, this terminal is still a bit confused. The one nice thing this does is it does highlight error messages in red. Turns out that got overwritten though by this ridiculously long string here of this JSON object. So that's fun. Let's try that again. This should now just show my error message. Just got a notification. What's my notification? Other people live. Anyhow, so now in terms of why the stream was so dang late today. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so I was working with some people. I need to go to command prompt. I'm gonna make sure I don't show anything sensitive here. So while I'm opening this, yep, good thing I did that. So E:. So I was working on a final project with some people. We started around 2. I didn't think it would take nearly long, but we were there for like 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours of doing stuff, and we didn't get finished at the end. Eventually I kind of left because I wasn't doing much, and I was tired. I went to go get some food at the place on campus while I ordered something, and that took a hot second to come out. Then once that was done, I had to walk all the way back here and get ready for the stream, put up the green screen also. Anyhow, that's why I'm late. Anyhow, back to I'm gonna use the IDE to actually build the thing. Okay. Alright, got my command prompt prepped here. So here we go, my good old little command prompt here. It should be called mcextractor.exe. Yep. You see, unlike my terminal, this actually wraps lines and shows me everything. Dang. That's the entire file right there. That entire JSON file poured out in the terminal. It's actually less than what I set my terminal's buffer to, so that's fun. Yeah, now you can see if I go right the way down to here, I get the error terminal intercept must be at least 80 by 40. And then if I likewise were to reduce it like this, that's 40. Okay, I guess it was considered more than 40 tall. How in the heck is this more than 40 tall? Wait, now I'm wondering, what does T? I'm intrigued. Now I gotta make sure I build like that. Wait for it to be done. These libraries do include a fair amount of heft that it has to go through processing. Like I know the Rogue Utils includes the entire goddamn Windows header, so that's the thing. I don't know about the JSON library. That's some complex shit that I don't want to dive into. It's gonna print this whole thing again. 9. S should be or. The fuck? How did that happen? So if it's less than 80, less than 40, okay. I did think that was a bit stupid. Anyhow. But yeah, I have an idea for how I want this interface to look. This interface and interaction type stuff to look. So, okay, there we go. Terminal must be at least 80 by 40. What is this? Still not 40 high. Really? What is this? Okay. 40 is a decent height. Whoa, okay. There we go. It's 42 high. Oh, this is actually a decent size. Alright. Other operating systems may find it a little bit different. Anyhow. So, what we're going to do then is, so once we get here, everything's loaded everything's loaded up. We're gonna make a cursor hider object. Hide the. I guess it's actually technically a struct, but this is a specific C++ feature of the Rogue Util library. where basically it's just an object that, by its very existence, hides the cursor on creation and shows it on destruction. And I'm going to use this here specifically instead of just the show and hide functions, because this is theoretically safer. When this object goes out of scope, so when the program ends, regardless of whether I do something, if the program crashes or you Control-C it, this should theoretically execute the code that will reshow the cursor. Very potentially useful. I just thought I should also probably have that reset the color of the terminal, because that we're going to be changing colors here, people. Not matter. I'm going to say save the default terminal color. I think this only actually affects stuff on Windows, but just in case. All right, so we're going to do that. Then we're going to set up the terminal before. By the way, this is not at all how applications that are typically graphical in the terminal will do it. I don't know how they do it. I assume they like manually manipulate terminal buffers or something, because they will immediately just put themselves on the screen and like nothing in the background. Or they'll like completely wipe away. You can't even scroll back to whatever was there before. And then my brain's farting. Yeah, and then they and then when you exit them, they'll just go back to what the terminal was before. Not gonna happen here because I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna do the next best thing. Clear the terminal. Hopefully you don't scroll or resize. That'd be annoying. Anyhow, so yeah, CLS, that will clear the screen, and then we are ready. Okay, so, and then what we're gonna do is we need to start rendering some stuff on screen. So, we're gonna need to go to the bottom row, which is gonna be, so go to, so then, compare the initial graphics. Actually, what I'm really going to need to do is I'm going to need to make functions that do some of these things for me. So I'm going to write two quick little functions here, or stub them. So I'm going to have void render, and this is going to take an int width, comma int height selected, and a vector of strings being a reference to options. And void render render search, and have int width and height, but conveniently the final thing it's going to have is a string for being search text. And this is the one that we're actually going to be calling first, I guess. We will need to do this one, but prepare the initial graphics. We'll do this render search. So it's going to have to, actually, we'll just pass in, we'll just actually, yeah, so columns is our width. We'll do that. The reason why I'm going to call it like this is so that if you resize your terminal, it'll actually, like, hopefully make everything correct. Yeah, just get the most up-to-date and correct data. That's the whole point of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to xy, which is the function for moving the cursor position. Yeah, width or 0. I know. Okay, I know Windows is a little bit weird because Windows is like offset by 1. So actually, maybe we'll just go to 1. It'll look weird on Unix-based systems, but height -1. Set. I'm gonna set the background color to is light gray, an option. Light blue, cyan, green, magenta, light red. What should the background color for the search bar be? Let's go look at the color options. That's another thing that this provides. This provides us with now these are each terminal is able to provide their own ideas of what color this can be. In fact, in Windows, I believe you can. Yeah, in Windows you can even specify what you want these various colors to be, but they're suggestions. I know they can be completely different colors and even PowerShell. So like, all depends on your dark gray. We'll use dark gray as a thing. Some of these may not even be proper colors on other. Yeah, okay. So we set the background color to dark gray. Set color to black. Hopefully that works. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do if search text if search text size, yeah, I think that's correct, is less than width. That's one condition. Else we'll have to chunk it up, but we'll just do this one for now. So we have our string out, which we will just use. Can we pass another string as a constructor? Let's see. Will this compile? Because, yeah, I've noticed sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Stuff. Oh, that's a warning because of the. Wants that to be an int. All right, that was the only issue that I had though. So there should be. All right, so we do that. Then string padding is, I think it's a number and then a padding string. So we're gonna have width minus the integer version of search text.size with a space. I may be backwards on that actually. I think it might be the pattern to repeat and then the length. Let's see if that compiles. No. Looks like it doesn't have a problem with this. Yeah, okay. Alright, so then we have the padding on. And theoretically, this should only be the width of one terminal, so we can simply just see out this. Theoretically, I think set string is what we I think there's a set. What does set string do? Because I know there's a weird find and replace. Set string takes in a string. The actual body of it, maybe? Oh yeah, there's like operating system specific crap. It just writes right to the screen buffer on Windows. I mean, yeah, it should be fine. We can use set string maybe if we don't like this. So actually, let's go. This does, yeah, okay. Let's go build this. Come on. Taskbar, hello. Okay, terminal. so now I never reset the frick. Oh! What? I'm very much confused by this. I never reset the color. That's a blunder. Does that's bad. Are we gonna have to deal with this being? I think we might. Crap. We might have to deal with this being the terminal background color. Okay, actually, I know this is bad. A bad thing to do with the stream right now, but I really have to go to the bathroom. So, do I have a thing for a bathroom break here? Yeah. Just do that. All right. So I will go to the bathroom and I'll be back soon. Alright then, I am back. Whew. Took a little bit longer than I was expecting it to, but, yeah, okay. Turn that off. Alright. This is, okay. The string is a tad bit confusing. I'm confused as to why it's printing this. How and where it's printing this. Well, first things first, we gotta get that color back. This is a thing where, like, with the cursor hider here, I feel like I should, you know, okay, after I get the color back, I'm gonna do a thing to make sure that it'll always get the color reset when the program ends, regardless of what's going on. So, where was I? Right, I need to quickly reset my colors to default. I think the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to make my window smaller. Have it set background color to black. This is just a development thing. And then white. Quickly build this. Go here, make the terminal real small. Oh, I didn't notice down here in the corner there's a little bit of a bar that animates. Oh, I guess it's done now. When it does, okay, so now there we go. Back to black. Okay, so or back to white and black, as it should be. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something similar to how that works, in that we're going to make a struct terminal di shimmer. Oh wow, whatever, the name doesn't matter. All right, so we're gonna just start with a capital T though. So terminal conditioner constructor, and then destructor. So then the constructor, well, this thing, construction wise, this thing is just going to hold a cursor hider object. So that's going to be outside constructor territory, but that's going to be functionally the same as that constructor. Then what we're going to do is we're going to save default color in the constructor and reset color in the destructor. And then clearing the screen is still fine. Terminal conditions, and we're simply going to create it there. And now that should do all the cursor hiding, color saving, and resetting that we need. As after we exit, this thing's going to go out of scope, which is going to reset the color, I think. Let's make sure this works. Oh yeah, but you can see now down here the little progress bar that animates, and it's done. So, hello, terminal, thank you. So make that a bit bigger. All right, perfect. Now, that's even a line further up than where I expected it to be. Oh well. Why is it printing that though? That makes no fucking sense. Sorry, but it just doesn't. Because we should be printing output here, which should be search text. Search text I'm passing in here as an empty string. That then has added to it a bunch of spaces for this length. Right. I actually got alerted of a disconnection that time. Would you look at that? Wow, would you look at that? Okay, let's see. Okay, this is some weird memory flajuckery crap here going. Building. Alright. Okay, test text there. We have a couple spaces, and then we just have random program data. What the heck? Okay. I don't know what's going on here. This is extremely strange. This padding is evidently not working very well. Oh, actually, what I need to, what I should do here is I should say, anyway, regardless of that, something's going on with this padding functionality, or this padding functionality here. So, if we say out is equal to that, and then this is acting a lot like a goddamn C string for some reason, or just like a char array that has an improperly bounded output, despite the fact that this should be the actual C++ string class. See if that helps at all. I don't want to do concatenation in a loop because that's dumb, and this should theoretically be better. But I will if I must. Nope. What is this constructor? Source character array. Number of characters to... Oh! No, this is using the wrong constructor. So it was treating that as a C string. I'm just reading it. If I instead swap that to a character, it's a template, goddammit. Oh, wait. Well, it's some sort of template anyway. Okay, let's see if this does what I need it to do. Repeat this character n times, not copy a certain amount from this. Not exactly. What if I use set string instead of cout? Because theoretically this will more indirectly, because I wonder if it's just like truncating all the spaces for some reason and then putting some weird crap at the end. C++, you're doing some weird stuff here. I don't understand it. Well, that just straight up didn't do the color. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're not going to touch this out stuff anymore. We're going to say cout, send the search text, and then we're going to, in a loop, stream to streamout for with minus this. Just send out, you know, a single character will do. All right, I need to increment I. That's what that's complaining about. All right. This should work. And then the other case here is when we've typed more than our screen can hold, in which case we need to scroll, which is just a substring. Should theoretically be, but I don't know why you type something that long. That's not going to find anything. But in case you do, I'm going to cut perfect. Perfect. All right, and then the other case is literally just going to be a substring for so string sub equals search text substr with the output is going to be the size, or the end position size, and then size minus width is going to be starting position. Now we're not actually going to be using that just yet because that would require me to write something kind of long, but theoretically this should work. Oh wait. Yeah, it's currently useless. Sub. Okay. Okay, so flush to sub. Reset color. Yeah, sure, we can do that. And then cout dot. It's just flush cout to make sure that goes correct. Another actually interesting thing we can do with the rogue utils library. It has a sleep function. I don't know how you otherwise do that in C++, but let's just let it sit there for 5 seconds. Building, building, building. It's gonna be a building. All right, there we go. So this is what it's gonna look like ordinarily. Ooh. It did have. Oh well, that was barely perceivable. It's probably a terminal or really a thing. Anyway, all right. So that's that. We'll get to the functionality of all of this later. But for now, the top line. Actually, another interesting thing we can do with this library. And actually, we'll do it like right when we clear the screen. We'll say set title. I know this library is, or is it just title? No. Set console title. This library has a really convenient feature. It does a lot of cool stuff. Ext. Just set the console title to that. Build that. Builds take a hot second. I've seen longer. All right, and now it says mstream extract up there until the program exits. In which case, it'll go back to command prompt. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so render search there. Then we'll have to call render main text area. Now, actually, I think the very top row per se. I don't know. We'll leave the top row blank for now because I might want to put some extra text on there. Yeah, that's probably going to have to be rendered anyhow. After we render that, we'll render main text, give the same terminal size information. Selected will be element 0. And then the options will be all of our indexed file keys for now. That will change later once we actually get to like searching and filtering. But for now, that's going to be our thing. All right, but now we got to go render them. So let's write this out. Starting at row 1 until 2 less than height. So for int I x1 I is less than height minus 2 I plus plus. So whatever. Until then, print the cont. Okay, I'm really confused by that whole string, blank string with I'm very confused by the whole trying to make a blank string of a certain size, but it's not working thing. That is extremely, extremely confusing. Regardless, OPTIO options side by any necessary scrolling. If this line is currently then make the line make the line gray, indicate, basically highlight it. Yeah. Oh, well, okay, let's just start by printing off each of these and making sure to make sure they're, you know, at most terminal width and padding out. You're not here. I'm gonna generate it. Actually, padding's not that hard. We'll just do the same thing we did on there. All right, so for now, say go to XY, like I did down here. 1, comma I, and then we simply see out. That is not how you use see out. Options of I minus 1, and then padding. So then for int j equals 0, j is less than options of that or width minus options of that dot size j plus plus, and of course it's going to have an issue with that not being integer, so we'll make that integer. And then, okay, so that's we see out space. Hopefully this doesn't start wrapping on. Actually, we'll find out if this wraps pretty quickly. I guess we'll test it. Scroll value. I'm gonna need to do stuff with scroll value. So scroll value is gonna be like I something scroll value, and then there's gonna be modifications anyhow. All right, that, ooh, right. I'm gonna need to go down an extra one from that then. But, oh, that replaced my search bar at the end. Strange. That effectively did what I wanted that to do. Maybe I want to actually give them a little bit of indentation. Let's set them up at 3. Well, first of all, for I equals 2, let's go for scroll value. Say so starting at I equals 2, indent to 3, so we're gonna have to do that like minus 3, I guess. Whatever. Instead of minus 1, it's going to be I plus scroll value. I plus scroll value. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, right. And I guess we'll actually have to check if this. We'll have to bounds check this. If this is outside the bounds of options, then just print a blank line, basically. That's something we'll have to do. But we don't have that issue yet. Just yet. So, okay. Alright, perfect. We're in a little bit. We got all of our options here. Actually, I guess I'll just say if... Actually, we'll have our int current index equals I plus scroll value. And so we'll place all of these with current index. That'll probably be a little bit better. That'll also help us quickly do a bounds check. well, actually, which is going to be here if current index greater than or equal to options dot size, or I guess less than. So int text. Actually, so we'll define that there. Text with here equals this dot size int that, and otherwise, well, actually no, we just default initialize it to 0, and instead of using this, we use text with. There we go. Now it will always pad a line. All right, so that's that. And then after we go to that, if current index is equal to selected, then we set the color. This will just be regular gray, which I guess is the lighter gray. And then once again, once we've printed out the padding and whatnot, we'll, if this is equal to selected, we reset color. All right. Oh, well, I forgot a freaking semicolon there. That's not going to compile. Yeah. I don't know why set color wouldn't work there. Now, a warning there, but okay. Waiting. Okay, says it warning. Everything's good. That shouldn't be a problem, though. Nothing's going over like 2 billion, so should be fine. Okay, perfect. The first option there is highlighted. Then we gotta, I guess, get into the main, really, event loop. Oh, here is also something we can do. We can, once we've reset the color, we go to XY of 0, TR. Make sure to put the cursor at the bottom of the screen. Oh, GO2. Wait, why is that? That should work. Okay, let's build this. Anyhow, that's just something I thought of there for consistency's sake. Trows. Oh, TROWS. Not gonna work. So that should just put the cursor right down at the bottom of the screen. Okay, let's also flip around the order in which these things are done, because the bottom one there will flush things. Alright, so then we're going to have a bool quit equals false. So then while we don't quit, we're going to say char input is going to equal to, then there's a method in Rogue Utility once again. Using this library quite a bit, there is a method in here. Is it KB hit, I think? Oh, god dang it. I have to go all the way down here to the actual definition of it, where there's a little bit of a documentation. There's a get key. Returns a key press blocking. Yes, this is what we want. So we want get key, and on key press is what we're going to be doing stuff. So then, so first of all, if input is equal to key underscore down, let's say. Yeah, we're going to need to have some more variables here. So we're going to have a string search string. We're going to have vector of string visible options, copy key, so we're gonna need that to start with. Oh, and then of course int scroll value, and start that at equaling 0. So scroll value plus plus if scroll value is greater than or equal to, I guess, visual options dot size, then we're going to have to say scroll value is going to be equal to this -1. Of course, we need to int cast this all stuff because C++ or C in general is kind of a jerk about this. And then likewise, because we can't have nice pasting apparently. But this time we're just gonna have it if it's less than 0, it's gonna be equal to 0. That's much simpler for key up. And then it's just going to be an else if tree, which the compiler will graciously turn into a switch statement for us, probably. Then after this, we index file keys. We're going to have to switch that out for this. I will copy that in a moment. Of course, we're going to have to put in our search value there and our search plus our search string, which should default to a blank equals. Because basically the else condition for all of this is add that text to the search string. And that's what that's going to do. But for now, I just want to get the up and down arrows keys working, really. Oh yeah, I got to get visible options. For string s in index keys, we're going to say that push back s. Pretty simple copy. All right. So they should be identical at this point, but as we type things, it's going to change. And more particularly, oh, it's going to basically re-render the entire goddamn screen. All right. Not the most performant thing in the world, because it is basically re-rendering the entire screen every single time, but like, and that's also, these are just the first few hops. All right, so now it's gone off the screen. Now we actually have to implement scrolling and crap. But hey, oh crap, that didn't free the cursor. I might have to bring in, something else that I've done. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, I've made another thing actually to capture Control-C stuff in the past. I don't have it on this computer though, but I might have to bring that in because my cursor is kind of permanently hidden right now. Thankfully, the next time the thing exits normally, actually, we'll just do this right now. Else if input key, I believe key escape is a thing, yeah. Then quit equals true. So now this should actually give us a proper way to quit. Well, it turns out, no, that doesn't work. Oh well. That's actually really annoying that that doesn't work. I guess, well, I mean, it won't matter that we don't have a, oh. Okay. It won't matter that we don't have a, I mean, if we're going to be doing this, we're not obviously going to need the cursor for very much, are we? Oh well, this didn't work. Who cares? I'll get like a proper way to, you know, quit at some point. But anyway, oh right, I give it a 5-second sleep at the end here. Get rid of the, it wasn't doing that, but we can get rid of it. Scrolling. Render main text here. So. And this here might be a little bit costly. Maybe there's going to be a better way for padding. Oh well, I'll figure that out later if I need more performance. This thing is going to be very sluggish. Very sluggish, especially on Windows. Okay, but now we got to calculate the scrolling. So scroll value equals -2 if the selected value is greater than what is the maximum range here? It's 2 to height -2. So it's like height -4 even. Height -4. Maybe let's just go -6 actually. Then scroll value plus equals, or plus equals even, selected minus, and then height -6. That should work, I think. Wait for building. Alright, now this doesn't feel too sluggish when I'm just tapping, and obviously you wouldn't search through this entire list for that one. Oh no. Oh, I'm going too far, aren't I? It's still off the screen. Crap. Oh wait, escape works that time. What the hell? Okay. Okay, I did this wrong. This is wrong. It went way too far. Maybe I just subtract height? No. I'm gonna try visualizing what's what here. We'll get it eventually. Cause it starts at 0. Goes all the way down to the bottom, which is something like, you know, height say, you know, 40. It's minus like 4, so that'd be like 36. And we need to, so once minus, yeah, it should just be, oh, well, we'll just try subtracting height for now. Hopefully that actually, scrolling down, This should actually tell us exactly how many. So I do want it to scroll at this point and still be on screen. Okay. So from right here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Height plus 5. Is it plus 5 maybe? Let's see. Because I want the selected bar to stay at least 1 away from the bottom. Until I guess we get all the way to the bottom, in which case it's going to be nothing. But I want you to see that there's more effectively. That's the idea. Permit. Oh, I'm still executing. There we go. It's like, whoops, I didn't turn it off. I didn't stop it. No, it built. Haha. And now we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is really visible on YouTube, but like right here where my mouse is, for some reason that there is also colored the same as the search line. Oh well. Anyhow, well, I got down to the bottom. Okay, +6 is what it needs to be. And now you can see everything slowly updating down the list as I press down. Maybe set string would actually be better. No way, I'm using cout so I can generate the padding here. I swear I used to know how to do padding well, but apparently I don't. I could go back and look at the other stuff I've done that has padding, but okay, +6, and then that's good, and then we can work on search. Yay. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to be realistically long enough to go over, so we shouldn't have to worry about this, unless they had some ridiculous name with a ridiculous file path in the future. Because this, to be clear, this isn't all assets in the game. This is just most of the big ones, like language files here. Apparently snapshot icons. Yeah, right there. It, like, stays one away from the bottom, but you still know who is actually selected there. And once we get back up to the top there. Okay, so now we work on the search. So specifically, we're gonna have to come on. There we go. Specifically, we're gonna have to be on the lookout for some special characters here. So basically, is there a way that we can see if a character is like a actual character that's meant to be rendered versus a control character? Oh, like enter, for instance. Enter is actually going to be used to do stuff. So we'll say else if input equals key enter. I might need to Google actually that. Okay, so there's enter, else if input key underscore, wait, backspace not a key that we have a constant for? You have all the numpads, the function keys. But here's the thing, I need to know if it's a text key. We have delete, insert, we have all these. Escape, enter, space. Space is fine. Really? There's no backspace key code. Well, I mean, I know what it is, or I roughly know what it is. Delete is fine. Here, let me go bring up the ASCII table.com. Because, actually, we'll do this on a way I can show you guys. So, okay, so right, this is what all the character codes are based off. It's based off the ASCII table here, where, because if we see key delete here, that's code 5. If we look at 5, well, that's not right. I don't know what, okay, well, these are the wait, hang on. The actual key code assignments are down here, sorry. If we look at where's delete, key delete, 83. If we look at value decimal 83, which is right here, that is an S. I don't know how these values are assigned then. The default is to return the key minus 123 plus F1. For function keys. Oh, these are double keys. Oh, okay. So if the value is 0, it's a numpad key. The value input is 224, it's one of these. 13 is enter, which carriage returned, apparently. 27 is escape, that is correct. This is for non-Windows crap, so we are not really bothering with that right now. Alright, I think besides that it is just raw ASCII. So backspace, for instance, it's one of these, and I don't know what... There's one for Bell. Acknowledged. Some of these are just transmission control. Probably back down here. Wait, isn't it like 8? Yeah, BS, 8, backspace. So if input equals the value of 8, which is backspace. I'm gonna quickly search the thing. C++ test if a character is a printable character. Because that's something we're gonna need to do. We're gonna need to only say if a character is printable, then we can add it in. Otherwise, because we don't want to put like friggin' F2. We don't want to try adding F2 to a string because that'd be really weird. Is print from CC type. This is what the Google AI is telling me. Seems simple enough. So or is print. Include right there, C type. Then just is print. So then else if is print lowercase p because bad naming conventions is print input. Oh, hello. It's like 9 p.m. or something like that right now. Dang, I've been going for over an hour now. Okay, so if it's a printable character, then we will add it to the search string. If we'll come back to enter because that's going to be a whole different functionality. If backspace is pressed, well, first of all, if the search string dot size is greater than 0, then search string is going to be equal to search string dot substring 0 comma and then size minus 1. That should be backspace. All right, let's see if I can actually type into the search box now. Now there is going to have to be more functionality within both of these to update the list of objects that's visible here. But to start with, we're going to have text be typed out in the search area. All right, should be built. Perfect. It's slow as fuck. Slow as fuck. But yeah, it works. It works fully. Also, there's no cursor. Perhaps I should highlight in white the specific cell that it's over. And also, actually, the way that we can make that less sluggish is we could only redraw that line if... no, wait, actually, that's bad. We do actually have to update the whole list. Never mind. I was going to say, okay, well, actually, we can only update that line. Wait, no, we have to update everything because we're actually going to be doing searching and filtering every time a character is entered. It's going to be sluggish as hell, but it's the way I am intending to do it. So, but yeah, the exact character that we're typing on. So, oh gosh, this is gonna be a freaking nightmare. We're gonna have to see out character by character for this. Okay. Comma int cursive answer pause. So for our initial call to render search, we're just gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like 9 or 8 actually, because it's 0 indexed. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to switch this to all go character by character. That's really annoying, actually. You know what? We're gonna do that later. We'll do that later. We'll just keep that in the back pocket, and I'll do that later. For now, I actually want to get, like, you know, searching and filtering. So we're gonna have void filter results. Have our string, which is going to be our hopefully reference to filter. Hopefully this works. I've had an issue earlier where string references were gonna ECT vector of string is gonna be our output, and another vector of string reference to input. So first things first, output.clear. Then for string s, I'm doing this because I don't have a. I'm specifically using s because I don't have a good name for this. For string s in input, this is not very effective. I understand that, but that's how we roll. If, and this is that str string contains the function that I wrote, filter or source filter there. If that contains that, then we output push back s. Not the most efficient thing, but it's C++, so we should be fine. So we'll do this, and it was filter output input. So search string, comma, the output, which is visible options, and then the input, which is the indexed file keys. Yeah. Well, actually, yes, this will have to be inside of here. And in fact, actually, if it's not, else continue. No need to refresh the screen if there's nothing to do. That's just a waste of cycles. Search string and visit. Okay. Hopefully this works on an empty thing. So now there should be some actual exciting updates. And we should actually get an updating list of what's there. Ooh. But weird stuff might happen once if the scroll. I'll have to make sure that the scroll gets adjusted once this gets adjusted. But, alright. Everything that contains pig in it somewhere, whether it's mob/pig or piglin jealous. I can piglin. Wow, there's a lot of piglin sounds. But if I wanted something specific, like other side, there we go, right there. And I cannot scroll or anything because we'd be out of I wanted to say rel. We have barrel and, you know, relic.ogg, which is probably what you'd actually be wanting at this point. It's all functioning properly. I do, of course, have to make sure that the scroll value here gets adjusted. where if scroll value ends up being greater than or equal to size, then scroll value has to be equal to the maximum value. So this minus 1. Of course, we have to int cast it both times. And this is actually in a large part, this entire thing done. Basically, actually. There's only one last thing to do, actually extracting the files. Okay. Alright, let's build. And now we can see what happens when we scroll down a ways and then start searching for something relatively specific. So let's scroll down a bunch here. Let's actually scroll off the screen as well. And then, oh, it's buffered my inputs for a while. Okay. Okay. Starting to search for dragon here. As you can see, we've lowered it down to only being less than my terminal size. A-G-O-N. Oh, I guess this is as far as dragon will get us. But yeah, there's a lot of this. Actually, if I wanted to, I could just do .ogg. This would just be every single sound file. I wonder how many images. Okay, there's not many images. This is a cool analytics tool. There's a lot of. Actually, if I do en underscore en dash, sorry, no, there's nothing from dash. No, it is en underscore. I don't know where in the world. Oh yeah, I guess if it went, whatever, it might disappear if there's nothing. Oh yeah, it goes to -1. I might want to make the minimum that can be 0, just in case. Yeah, in terms of English languages, there's these few, but then there's all this other stuff that is en under would end stuff. Open flip. Oh, it's a book. Okay. Oh, and then en us is way at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what kind of order this. Oh, that's realms. No, that's probably why. Don't know what kind of order, but yeah, this is gonna be quite useful here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What's next? Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Say. No. We need to have st max. I don't know if this is in anything. We might need to get math and cmath in here. That 0. I know that is how you do the math function in here, though. Does this compile? I realized I also didn't need the std because I have put in using namespace std, but you know, just in case. All right, that should be fine. All right, I think it's time we get our enter key. Actually, here, let's just get our catch-all. Else, continue. Just go to the next loop. Okay, we're gonna need a separate thing. Void extract string file. So then, okay, first of all, we're gonna make sure that if visible options size is greater than 0. First of all, that's really the only qualification we need. We can just Oh, we're also going to need our JSON. That's definitely how you spell indices, but whatever. So we're going to extract visible options of. Why did we call it scroll value? Whatever. And then we're going to pass in. Where's our JSON object that we got here? Indexed objects. Yeah, and then we just defer to this. So we have our JSON file info equals indices, where we just straight up extract the file name out of that. Well, that's not what we got to do. We need the variable, not the actual string file name. So we take that, then we get string hash equals file info of hash, I believe is what it's called. There's also a size. We'll get that because that might be convenient to have. So we're gonna do that. Oh, assets. All right. So we're also gonna do that. Because all right, so and then the assets folder apparently has a slash on the end. Okay, so we're then gonna get our IFStream raw file is going to be equal to, or not equals, we do it like this in C++. Assets folder plus objects slash plus, and then here's the weird part about how this stuff, it's inside of objects, it's the hash of 0 plus hash of 1. So inside the object, then there's a folder which is the first 2 letters of the hash slash, and then just straight up the entire hash as the file name. So this is this ends up being the entire file path of what we need to load here. To raw file. Then name is going to be equal to string get file name. And then we're going to take in a string path. So anyhow, we're gonna equals get file name from file name. I know it's kind of weird, right? But anyhow, so what we're going to do is, first of all, we just return path if we can't find anything. But so basically, what we're going to do is we're going to get for int I equals path dot size minus 1. I is greater than or equal to 0. I plus plus. If path of I is equal to the slash character, or I don't think it would be path of I equal to the other slash character. I don't think it would be, but just in case. Then we'll simply return path.substring of I plus 1. Where in the frick? Oh, just went all the way to the end of the file. Whoa. Alright, so then we just return, so basically we go from the end of the string, it should be I minus minus, not I plus plus, that would be a recipe for a disaster. So basically we start at the end of the string and then we just work our way backwards until we find a slash. At that point we know that's the end of the file, and then the file name is everything after there, and that's what everything that comes after the slash, and so that's what we return. Oh, I already have real file name. That's it. So real file name. So, okay, we get our input stream. Then we have to have our output stream. Save file. And it's just going to be saved as the real file name. Now, we're actually going to use that size object. So we're going to go for int I equals 0, I is less than size I plus plus. We're going to have just u int 8 t b. That might not be as portable. Byte in. There we go. So we're going to have raw file read our byte in, and then save file save the byte in. Basically we go in from this file out to this file. Now the reason why I'm doing it like this specifically instead of using a char is because, first of all, a char doesn't always have to be 1 byte. In some compilers it might be 2 bytes, especially like I know this is a thing because the way Windows is compiled, supposedly a char is actually 2 bytes. And when Microsoft switched to doing that, because Windows needs to support all sorts of different character sets for different languages, I broke a lot of things because at Microsoft, all the developers were just like, oh, a char is a byte, and then it just wasn't. So they had to refactor a lot of things to change all those things when they used char when they meant a byte to something else. uint8t should definitely prevent that. The other reason I'm doing it like this is because, at least with cin, I don't know about how reading files work, but I'm kind of paranoid about this because they're input streams. The way cin works is it'll just skip white space characters if you're trying to read a character in. And we of course don't care what the characters are, we just want the binary value of this, because we're just gonna dump it to another file. Once we're done, we can raw file close, close, and then we save file flush that, and then we close it. Pretty simple stuff. I have not been commenting all this much at all, but I'm now let's get relevant info maybe about the file entry relevant get the actual name of the file without the rest of the path. Copy the content of the original file to a new file. Basically just copy the file and then close the things. And then I'm actually going to render a new screen here. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm going to do that here. And then when this returns, we're going to re-render the screen. Actually, no, I'm not going to re-render the whole thing, just the bar at the bottom. So I'm just going to set this to 0 here. And this is going to be a space extracted file plus real file name. And then we're gonna msleep for 5,000. And then, oh yeah, then it's gonna re-render the whole thing regardless once we get down to the bottom. So, because it's just calling extract here. So yeah, it's gonna say that for 5 seconds once it's extracted, and then all right, let's make sure this compiles quickly. Because there's a chance I did something wrong. Okay, that built successfully. Let's hope nothing breaks here. Yeah, let's really hope nothing breaks. Let's see, extractor.exe. Alright, so, let me... Yeah, I don't know what... I'm going to open up File Explorer on my system here, and I don't know where it's opening, so it just went... Okay, yep, good thing I did that. Should be... Once I get to the actual location of this... Where is it? Oh, there it is. Let me just make sure there's nothing particularly vulnerable that I'd be showing off on File Explorer. Nope. Okay. Think everything's fine. All right. So, back to the main scene here. So, okay, here's my File Explorer window here. As you can see, the project folder here is pretty, at least I'm pretty sure this is the folder that it executes from. We have all of our, you know, standard IDE stuff or whatever. Wait, no, we need to be in debug. Just an SRC folder in the executable. I realize we're executing it from the terminal here. So it's going to be where the terminal is, which is inside this debug folder. Now let's go get other side. Gonna press enter, extracted other side.ogg. Okay, there's an other side.ogg in here. Technically I think I could get in trouble for playing this because this is not directly Minecraft content, but let's just make sure this worked. Frick! Can't open this. Maybe because the file type is on this file extension is in... Nah, I think the actual file is just corrupted. Crap. Crap. I thought that would work. And it seemed like it was gonna work, but it didn't. Why did this not work? I actually don't know. Maybe instead of actually using the size thing, just say while instead of this crap, just while it can read stuff, because I'm pretty sure the way that the stream reading stuff works in C++ is it'll return a number of bytes that it read or something like that. I don't know. The return statement of the return, regardless, the return value of this is some positive integer typically when it's reading, and then I think it's 0 when it finishes or can't read anything else. So this should theoretically work. And if this doesn't work, then I have no idea what's going on. Oh. Yeah, size is unused. Yeah, that makes sense. It's there just in case, and we're not using it, so. Actually, it might even be easier, instead of operating on music, if I operated on like a JSON file that I could actually look at. Let's try extracting this. Okay, so it says it extracted it. And that should disappear in a moment. Back to the search box. Obviously nothing would have changed over here. Nah, it's still broken. Yeah, the file is definitely corrupted. Alright, let's get a let's just get the English language. ENUS. The realm's English language. Right, because by default, English is the only language that's actually included inside Minecraft. All other languages are... Well, what the hell did I just do? Oh, I accidentally pasted. That was a very slow paste. Alright. I just press shift. Okay, extracted enus.json. It's 1 kilobyte in size. I don't know if that's... I actually don't know what the realms file actually usually looks like. Debug and refresh. That actually, no, it's open. Please don't open in Notepad++. Crap, it opened in Notepad++. I don't know why the music file is invalid. Pretty sure you can normally play that sort of stuff. This looks like valid JSON here. Of course, this isn't a binary file, though. Let's get an image file. Nah. .png icon 3232.png. I actually don't know what this is. Okay. I mean, you look at this in Notepad++. Ah. Yeah, this literally only got the file header in there. Maybe I need to use a different type of input stream. Because I think this might be doing some sort of formatting or something here. Or skipping out potentially irrelevant data. There's also probably some sort of library function I could use to copy stuff, but yeah. This entire PNG function, or file, copied as just %PNG. Or, it's not even a percent symbol, it's something here. Let me go look at hex mode here. I know you can't see this, but, etc. view in hex. 4 total bytes got copied. Yeah, let me, if I control Z this. Hello. Control Z that. If I go back to here, we build. Let's see if this gets more apparently. I can see this having weird issues though. Oh, it's up. Okay. PNG, we go 32 by 32. Extracted. Yes, reload it. No, it's really just the same goddamn thing. Here, let's plus real name plus how much size it's got there. No, wait, crap. Wait. I mean, the thing should be that it can't. Got an error. Can you not just concatenate an int to a string in C++? Wow, that's dumb. Can I just pass it into a constructor here? Oh, let's try this. I know there's like string stream, but like, dang. Oh, that's annoying. Might need to use a goddamn string stream just for this. Ah, man. Pretty sure this is... Okay, well, yeah, let's just do it. S or SS. Now I'm just gonna make this temporary. String stream temp. So temp send in this whole thing, and then also stream in size, and then string t equals tmp dot I forget how you actually get the string out of this. String. And then we just do OT like that. Build this. Oh, what? Oh, now it's complaining because I forgot to exit this. That's what I was thinking it was going to complain about to begin with, but apparently not. Oh, edits up. Okay. Let's go here. It should be a lot bigger. Okay, so, yeah, no, that should be a lot more than, especially considering I'm doing that loop. Oh, I guess it's just not doing anything. Get rid of all that. Yeah, I guess if it's not reading any bytes particularly that it wants to access. Alright, to the Googles again. How to read and write binary file C++. PreStream, whatever, we got that. Use OFStream to create and write a binary for IFStream to specify the file name and open mode. Oh, iOS binary in the constructor, or using. Oh, okay. So what I need to do is supposedly just slab that right on there, and it should just work. Hopefully I closed that before it got there. Good, it did. Okay. So this well, there's no more data there. Why? There should be at least 2 kilobytes of data here. Yeah, let me delete the file and try again. Delete, no, don't keep it in Notepad++. Should be a couple kilobytes, more than 1. My other side is also only 1 kilobyte. Oh, it's 3 kilobytes now. Now, let me check it in the Notepad++ Doctor. Oh, okay, there is actual image data in here now, but something is still wrong. Ooh. Why is there so many commas at the end of this? If I delete those. Should be a PNG file, but I don't know what's wrong with it. I'd have to check it against the original, which is kind of a pain because this isn't exposing to me the original stuff. Let's see what this is also saying. So let's okay, so that's opening the file. Writing, use the write method to write data in a binary format. Use the read method to read. Does anyone do that? Yeah, close or whatever. Okay, apparently we're using the methods read and write for this. So probably we should be using read and write for this. So So raw file dot we need, oh, what is this point? A re-intercept cast. Wow, this is so weird. Okay. Integer array. Wait, actually, hang on. What is this saying? This is saying, God, char type. So maybe I do just use, so hang on. So if I say read, I'm gonna just say address of byte in, and just say a, you know, if I really wanted to make this more efficient, I could just, actually no, that's probably irresponsible to try reading the entire file, and we'll just do it one byte at a time, quite frankly. Okay. Hopefully Google's AI is right about this, but it does seem like that'd be a way to do it, based off how the actual file's documentation looks. Let's delete the existing file there. Boop. So .png, we go down to this one, extracts it. Okay, that actually worked, and that's one of the tiny little Minecraft icons. All right, now let's try other side. Okay, extracted file other side. Maybe I should make this a different color down here. That wouldn't be too hard, actually. And now? Wait, other side starts ridiculously quiet. Oh, my speaker, you've been hearing it. Okay, my speakers were just off. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay. But yeah, that seems like that's working. Yay! Okay. I do want to make this. Why is this? Oh, okay. Let's add an override color or highlight color to render search. Get cursor cost, comma, bool, highlight color. Where we're sitting. So if nope. Highlight color, else, and we're going to set background color to light blue. All right, we're getting close to this thing just being completely functional. It's going to be false everywhere. I guess the cursor thing is gonna not be a thing for now, because I can't be bothered to implement that. Oh no, this is false. No, okay, wait, so then this is the one that should be true. So now when I extract something, make sure I get to stop that before it tries to write to the executable file. Alright. Now, when I say creator, find creator.ogg, that is not light blue, but whatever, it's a different color. All right. And then again, we'll verify that worked. Yep, that is creator after all. Exactly as I planned for this thing to work. Yes. Okay, I've been streaming for basically 2 hours at this point, which actually means this might be a good place to stop. Don't know, was there anything else I wanted to go do? Okay, I guess I wanted to put that like title at the top of the screen. I don't know what I want to do. Actually, I'll do that. I'll do the thing where you press Control-C and it actually makes sure to clear everything. I'll do that off camera, because well, yeah, I'll just put that little text at the top screen. I'll call this done. I'll put all this crap up on GitHub after the stream, and I'll probably make a couple distributions of it for Windows and probably at least a semi-modern version of Ubuntu. No guarantee that's going to work, because Linux is dumb with how they manage extremely common shared libraries, so it's not guaranteed to work on every system. If there's some feature of the standard C library that I'm using that doesn't work, actually I could try compiling this with the Microsoft Visual Code compiler. There's probably going to be some issue there because I'm using the MinGW compiler right now. Anyhow, enough of this procrastination. Let's go to the 1.1. Actually, what colors do I have available to me here? Or theoretically, what colors do I have? Light green. We'll try that. So we'll do that, blah, 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 blah. Before we get into here, right before we prepare the initial graphic, actually in the preparing of initial graphics, we'll go, okay, we'll set background color to light green, set color to not a string, black the constant. Reset color afterwards. Then we go to XY11. MCEXTRACTR. And then where we do that padding, space padding. Where is one place where I've done that here? And then we'll just send out a space minus literally this string size, and width will be the terminal width that I set right here. Really? Well, really? I gotta... Okay, that's dumb. Whatever. C++ being weird. Alright. Tile this. Make sure I press escape there. Controls may not be... I'll put that in the readme. Yeah, it won't matter. Alright. No, that's fine. Wait, but that doesn't... It doesn't, like, fill the rest of the row, dang it. Why? Maybe... flush. Maybe you want that. So, okay, yeah, I'll add a couple things to this off camera. Well, I just want that entire top row to be green. And then just not touched for the rest of the time. What in the hell? Why is it not? Here, if I just set the letter E. What if I just do that? Oh. Wait, I didn't put that in the right. What if I did it in the correct location this time? Okay. Build it. Now it should work. Dang it. Oh, hang on. There we go. There we go. Now is that green bar across the top. With the rest of this hopefully working well, and on Linux or whatever, it'll be like an extra like column over here that's not used. And this might wrap actually, so I'm gonna maybe need to do something about that. But regardless, it's now working as intended. So, also, you think I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but yeah, this will pull from the indexes of whatever the latest index files to be updated was. So probably whatever the last version of Minecraft you used. If not, hopefully it's still accurate to what you're trying to find. The latest one should be theoretically accurate. Horse leather. Well, regardless, I think that's going to be the end of this one. So if you're looking for what to watch next, well then, hey, you should check out my game. Or no, that comes later. Wait, if you're looking for what to watch next, I released an episode of Coolcraft today. Check it out. I put some effort into doing the editing and stuff on there. Great fun stuff. And yeah, so thank you much. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like on the stream on your way out. And subscribe to the channel. We're at 76 subs. Woo, getting closer to 100. Check out my game, which is linked in the description. It's not written in C++, but still, I've occasionally coded on stream. And I will see you all sometime later. I don't know. This is my last live stream, maybe for a little while. We'll see if I do a live stream this next weekend. Maybe. I don't know. I won't be at school anymore, though, so it won't be echoing, and the green screen will be different and probably a lot worse. Anyhow, thank you all for watching. Stop stalling. Bye!